everyone. Today is week. This time is week 5. That's right. Weeks they fly pretty fast when you're having fun, or when you're not. I don't know if you're having fun with the series, because I surely am, and I mean, all of us here we enjoy the series quite a bit, and we've come quite far now. Week 1, we started with uh, s- setting up the emulator. We did some basic apps, the Hello World, currency converter, roll the dice, something basic. Now, what's pretty exciting is we have come to the second part of our 10-week series, which is pretty much weeks 4 to 7. So last week, week 4, we did our X and Zero app, our tic-tac-toe app. We implemented some really good coding logic there on how do we check which token is won in our tic-tac-toe app. So if you're interested in that app, if you haven't seen it, you can check that out too on the same channel. And today, the pretty exciting thing is our favorite dogs app. We changed it a little bit. It's not breeds, but just favorite dogs in general. And as you can tell, favorite dogs, it's in plural. So that's why we need some way on how do we show this list of dogs. Plural, we have many dogs. How do we show them? And for that, we're going to use Android's, well, now it's outdated, but it's a good reason why we're going to learn, which we'll talk about later. But we're going to use Android's list views. So here's how, yes, our favorite dogs app, here's how the app will look. We have a list of dogs, right? You click on any dog, it'll tell you more information about it, like likes, dislikes. Uh, the image will be there. Um, Image, then which breed the dog is. So we need some way on how to model all this. We try to keep it very simple, so it doesn't show like many fields. The only fields it shows are name, breed, likes, dislikes, and image. So basically just 5 fields. And what we want to work on today is mainly list views. How do we model this list of dogs? And some smaller things here and there in between to make this app cohesive and complete is how do we add on-click listeners in code. So far, we're just using our on-click listeners in our XML files. So for the button, we add our in the on-click attribute, we add the method. Now it's going to be a little different. We're going to learn how to do that. Then if you see, when you click on a dog, it takes you to a new screen. So intense. And then action bar. So if you notice here, it says favorite dogs now. When you click on a dog, it shows the name and the back button. We're going to see how to do that. And images. We spoke about these last 3 points actually in some of the previous in some of the previous sessions. So, but we are going to cover it in much more detail this time. So, without any further ado, let's begin. List views. So, as I had mentioned, list views, there are a way on how to model lists. However, that's not the most efficient way to do it currently as of now. Well, list views, they're actually outdated in Android. The more efficient one and the modern approach to implementing lists is something called recycler views, which is a little complex. And in order to fully understand the depths of recycler views, we have to understand the basics and how did this actually begin and what's the inspiration for recycler views. So we begin all the way back when list views were a thing. So that's why we're going to learn list views first and learn the outdated version. And then next week, we're going to move on to the more difficult one, which is the modern approach, recycler views. So list views, here are some examples, is basically if you want to show like a list of items, so like in an emails app, right? You have a list of these email cards, right? You have these cards here. Then here in like a travel app, some travel locations, you have list of travel locations. So whenever you see a list of something, or if you have like multiple objects of a particular data item, that's when you would most probably need to use a list view. So list views have two components. One is the visual part of it, and the other is the data. So for example, here, the visual part of this list view here is each card here, from here to here, that comprises of the visual part of it. Then all these fields, such as the name, the subject, the body of the email, and this time here, that all comprises of the data. So both of this, the data and the visual part, will be bundled in this list view. So What are these two components? Let's take a look. The first one, the visual. In order to implement the visual part of it, as we just spoke about now, this email card, we're going to create a custom layout file. Yes, this is something new. So far, in from weeks 1 to 4, we have just relied on the layout file for the activity, which in layman's terms means the default layout file that they've given us. However, now we're starting to graduate onto a level where we have to create our own layout files, and this is the beginning of it. So something new that we're going to learn today. And this layout file is going to be given to something called an adapter. So more about this adapter. So this is just an introduction. You don't have to memorize anything. We'll go over this in detail in live when we live code our app, just to get us acclimated with this new topic. Just trying to get our feet slightly wet, and then we'll take us deep into the depth of the pool. So let's get our feet wet, and we'll go in the pool. So the second component is data. So first was the visual part of it, which was handled by the layout file and then given to the adapter. The data is almost completely handled by the adapter. So adapter, it completely handles your data. And if you notice in visual part, the layout is returned as a list item by the adapter when GetView is called. So layout is returned when GetView is called. Here the data is returned when GetView is called. So mainly our adapter, what it does is it has we'll come to this. This adapter, it has the data, it has the visual part of it. Whenever you call GetView, that's when the adapter returns the visual part of it and also the data. So how do we implement this? Let's check it out. So far in all weeks 1 to 4, as I previously mentioned, we just use a default layout file. That's well and good. But now in a more complex scenario, when you have multiple of these, you can't predict from beforehand on how many objects will you have, like how many of these dogs will you have. So what you do is you create a custom layout file for each dog item. And we can name this like dog underscore item.xml. So again, the format is the same, XML. We use the same language. So we create one separate one for this, and then we can create multiple instances of this, depending on how many dogs are there. So that's why we're creating a separate file. The second one, create a model class. So again, don't get overwhelmed. Yeah, we're going to cover this, don't worry. I'm just introducing you to this. So the second thing is creating a model class. So if you notice here, this is the layout part of it. Like you have an image, you have a text view here, you have a text view here, and then this whole thing, it forms like an item, list item. Now, if you notice here, the image URL, the dog name, the dog breed, that all comprises the data part of it. So for that, you have to create a dog or a model class that has fields such as like name, breed, likes, dislikes, and image URL. Each, we're not going to implement it here, but it just included in the code just in case. We thought we'll implement age, but we won't. We'll keep it simple and just try to learn the new topics today. So name, breed, likes, dislikes, and image URL. So you have the visual part of it. Then you have this dog class that encapsulates all the fields of that particular dog. Then, as we mentioned, the most important part of a list view is an adapter. So you have to create a custom adapter actually that extends. So this is inheritance in Java. It extends the array adapter, and within the angular brackets, which is the generic type, you have to pass dog, which is in the previous slide, it is this one. So basically, array adapter is a default adapter that Android provides, but we want to customize it to display dogs. So what we do is we extend the default adapter, and in the generics, we pass in our custom object, dog. So we're going to implement this in detail. The next one, the next step is in that custom class, you have to override some methods. So construct the getView and getCount. And finally, once your adapter is ready, give the adapter to the list view. So here, if you notice this dog list adapter, which is basically in the previous slide, this is what we created, right? The dogs list adapter. Create an instance of that adapter with a new dog list adapter. And then the list view dot set adapter. So again, adapters are very essential component of list views. So list views, they only display what has to be displayed, but the adapter is like the brain of it. Think of it like your body. Your body is a list view, and the brain is is the nervous command center, which actually tells the body what to do. And the brain is analogous to the adapter here, or the adapter is analogous to the brain. So adapters, the moment you set an adapter to the list view, that's when the data will be displayed. So we have finally uh, covered most, like all that we need to cover. We are here. Let me. So here's the thing. We finally are going to start our live coding. So today's app is here on GitHub. So if you, this link is, Yudesh has included this link in the description. So you can find it out and click the link. Um, if so, yes, you can click the link and you'd be redirected to this page. So here is the GitHub repo for today, right? This app.
Rohan, I think there was a glitch. Could you repeat that part?
Oh yes, yes. Uh, so um, so uh, so today's code is again as all the code previously is going to be on GitHub. So the link of this today's GitHub repo is there in the description. So Yudesh has included it in the description, so you can check it out from there. And once you click the link, you'll be redirected to this page. So this is our GitHub repo page. And if you notice in the branches, there are multiple branches here. Like for each step, we have starter and solution, starter and solution. So we have six steps today. And so we're going to complete it in our steps. So sorry about this. Let me take some water. Yeah, cool. Let us begin. So you can click on this code part of it and copy this URL here. Then head over to Android Studio and File, New, Project from Version Control, and Get. So first, before this, let me increase the font so if you can see it. It's 14 and our editor will be 18. So File, New, Project from Version Control, and Git. Now here you have to paste that URL that you just copied. You can click on Test and it will show you that connection successful. And then choose a folder of your choice. So I'm going to choose this one here. And within this folder, so this is up to you. It doesn't matter for our project. It's your preference. Not this one actually, this one. And here I'm going to create a new folder called favorite dog, favorite dogs app list view 8 because it's our 8th app. Yeah, week 5 we have completed 8 apps. I mean 7 apps so far. Today is our 8th one. So let's click on OK and we'll select this folder and clone. So now what's happening is yes, I'll select new window. So what is happening is from the online GitHub repository, you are copying everything onto your local machine. So let me open this. So you should come to a page something like this. And again, like last week, at the bottom, you will see this master. If you expand it and click show 12 more, you will notice here there are many, let me expand this. You can see this. You'll notice here there are many branches under remote branches, but under local there's just master. Master is a solution code. So now if you run the app, um, so this one thing is for me the internet doesn't work on the emulator. So I'm going to show you using this, which is not clear at all, but at least it can give you a rough idea. So the thing is it downloads the images from the internet, which doesn't work on the emulator for me. So I have a local device and I'm going to screencast this over here. So here is the app. It's not clear, but hopefully at least it's somewhat legible. And if you click on anyone, more information. So the stuck or yeah. So the master branch contains the solution code. Now, what we need to start today is head over to step one starter code. So under remote branches, step one starter code, and then check out as, and then keep the default name and click OK. So now if you run the app, now you'll get a blank screen, or you might even get some errors. Yep, you get some errors. So that's because you have to implement all the stuff. So now you can expand app Java, the first package name, and then double click on main activity to get that here, and then app res layout and activity underscore main. So here, so as we mentioned last week, we're going to start to dive into writing code in XML. So weeks 1 to 3, we did it in the design editor of our of Android Studio, but now we're going to actually do it in XML. And trust me, it'll be fine. Yeah, it looks complex, but it's going to help you quite a lot. The writing code here in XML is much more easier, which seems anti-intuitive at first, but it gets much more easier. So here, these three to-dos are actually done for us. So basically what we have is a list view. So a list view within our root layout, a list view that expands the whole screen because of our width and height, which is match parent. So it expands the whole screen. The list view is now empty because the list view doesn't have any items. So remember, list view needs an adapter. So the adapter is what we're going to implement soon. Let's head over to our main activity. Now here, to do 4, create a list view. So let's create private list view. So just like last time, how we used to do for text view, when we had a text view in our XML file, we would create a variable here of type text view and give it a name like mtv, like name. Here, what we're going to do is the same thing, mlv for list view, mlv list view, and dogs. And to initialize it, just like usual, mlv is equal to find view by id r.id.lv dogs. So that's initialized. Let's check in step 1, or we have many many to dos here. So we finished 4 and 5. So that's good. Now let's head over to yeah. Oh, we did 1, 2, 3. Yes. So now let me walk you over what we have in a starter code. So apart from activity underscore main, we created a new layout file here for us with some to-dos. So how to create a new layout file? If it wasn't created for us, you can right click new layout file and then just type here like dog underscore item underscore 1, enter, and cancel for now. And that's how we created it. So it's the same thing, but we just have done it in the starter code beforehand. So head over to again app res layout dog underscore item .xml. Now here, so in the slides, if we can go back to our slides. So this is what we're trying to implement. So instead of creating the whole layout, let's just create inside dog underscore item. Let's create a layout for this tile, for this line, right? So let's see how do we do it. Now I'll head back over here. So to do 6, convert list view to constraint layout. So this constraint layout. So if you notice in our app here, it doesn't seem like we need constraints here. It seems like it's aligned linearly, right? You have an image view, so it's like a horizontal alignment image view, and then you have this vertical list of name and brief. So basically, it's like a horizontal list, right? A horizontal arrangement of views. So you can delete this and change it to linear layout. So again, I'll go slowly if you are new to XML. So take this root tag here and delete it. So all the way from Android X to constraint layout. And here you can type in linear layout. So now the root layout becomes linear layout, not constraint layout. That's a 6. 7. Width to match parent, height to wrap content. Cool. Because we want our item to take least amount of height as possible, and width is match parent, right? completely matches, and width only as much as it needs. So 7, 8 is done. 9, add 16 dp. Yep. So if you notice here, on the left and on the right, we have some padding, right? The image doesn't touch the periphery of this list tile. So yes, so now I'll go slowly here. So in order to add padding to this view here, before the opening tag, so within this, enter, and here you can just type in PA, like the autocomplete is very smart. And if accidentally you click escape and or it doesn't appear, control space, and the autocomplete list comes up again. So control space, escape to close it, control space to open it. Now find here padding start, which is basically left. Start is same as left. So you can put in 16 dp as the to said. Same thing for padding end. Okay, let me go slow here. Enter PADDING padding end equal to 16 dp. Again, the same unit as we did in the design part, right? dp is a unit of measurement here in Android. So 9 is done. Then 10. Add a padding top and bottom. Oof. Oh, I think it should be 8. So there's a typo here. 8 dp. It's not a mistake as such. Like this, you won't get any error. It's just the the kind of consistency that we wanted. We want the vertical paddings like top and bottom to be 8 and the start and end to have double of what the vertical was. Just a convention that we're using. Now within the linear layout, so let's add first of all an orientation horizontal, which is not needed because by default linear layouts are the orientation is horizontal. So we can just put it to be more explicit then. Now again, if you're new, I'll go slow. So click on the end of this right angular bracket, right, and pick enter, enter. So basically within the opening tag and the closing tag, within it you have to include our stuff. So here, first thing is image view. Oh, let me go slow again. So opening, so the open angle bracket, then image view, search and autocomplete, the first one that only says image view, enter. Now by default, Android asks you for width and height. So width 0 dp, which will go into why is it 0 dp? Like, oh, but I won't be able to see the picture, Rohan. Yep, that's intentional. So, and for height, match parent. So again, to go slow, autocomplete completes it for us. So match parent, enter. Now to close this image view tag, what we discussed last time is image view, it doesn't take a child. So you can just use self and closing tag, which is the forward slash. It automatically, when you type in the forward slash, it adds this greater than sign. So our tag is done. Now, okay, this is done. Next thing is we need to give it a weight. So we briefly discussed this last time. So here weight, and I'll explain again for absolutely. So let's give it a weight of 3, and we'll talk about this later. So next. So first we had an image view. So let me show the layout again. We had an image view here. The height, we'll add the height, sure. Image view. Next, let's implement this linear arrangement of 2 text views. So here you can type in linear layout. So again, within the first linear layout, you have an image view, then you have, so do enter twice. So basically leave a line between this. Then open bracket, linear layout. Enter. By default, it asks you width and height. So for this width and height, you can width match parent and height wrap content. Actually not match parent, width 0 dp. And we'll talk about why. And here, don't press the forward slash because this linear layout will have some children. Whenever you have children, don't do the forward slash. Do the less than sign, greater than sign, and Android automatically adds a closing tag for you. Now between the opening and closing tag, enter, enter, enter. So basically, within the opening tag and the closing tag, you can put those 2 text views that we had. So here, open angle bracket, text view, and let me go slow if someone missed it. And by the way, yeah, I forgot to mention, it's a very interactive session. Put the questions in, and I'll be happy to answer those. So there's no like, yeah, the usual thing what all professors say and teachers say. Yeah, there's no bad question or anything. So I think, yeah, just answer, just put the question in, and we'll definitely answer those. So yeah, keep your questions rolling in. Cool. Now here, open angle bracket text view, enter. Width of the text view is, let's do wrap content, because we want it to be as small as possible. So wrap content, height, wrap content. Now you can click the closing bracket, the forward slash, because text view doesn't have any child, forward slash. Now between this opening and this closing thing, click enter, and here you can type in text. So you can type in the example, what do we have? Charlie. Ah, yes. So the reason we can't see it now is this 0 dp. So we'll explain what this means, but let me go slow. So just anywhere between the opening and the closing one, anywhere, literally anywhere, just click enter, and here you can type in weight, WEIGHT, and type in your 7, and that should fix the problem. So we'll explain what this means. For now, let's just do it this way. Now we need one more text view, right, for this breathe. So copy this. So shift. So this is like some shortcut here. Shift and then the up arrow twice, or 3 times or so, and use the arrow key such that everything is selected, or use the mouse conventionally. Use the mouse. Control C. Then so after this tag, leave some space. Control V. So you have two text views. Now the problem is here, it's being arranged horizontally. So as I said, linear layouts by default, it arranges everything horizontally. So here, before the linear layouts, the greater than sign, enter, type in your orientation, vertical. So it becomes vertical. Cool. And now for this text, you can type in here, what's in the example, Labrador, and update here. Now, it doesn't look as good as it was before. Like here, if you notice, this looks much more like larger text size, and the lower one is like a subtitle kind of text style. So let's see how do we do that. So before the closing and the self-closing tag, click enter, type your style, style, not text style, but style, just style. Enter. Search for something like headline 4, and it should basically be the one with material components. Headline 4, enter, and you get this. It looks much like the layout that we had, but the text color seems a little off. It seems a little gray compared to this. It seems like a very black and dark color. We don't want this light color. Light color will keep it for subtitle. We'll keep the black text color for the title. So here, next property is, so again, I'll go slow. Before the closing, enter, text color. See how easy it is here? You can, because if you know the properties, you can just type it here. As opposed to in the design editor, you have to click on this and then scroll through all this long list and find it. But this is a good starting point, where XML could seem laborious at first and overwhelming. Like, oh, I have to type so many things, I have to memorize, but it actually is much more easier than we would first believe. Text color is equal to, and the quotes, or what's it called this, the double inverted commas, text color. So @color slash, I'm making some mistake. All right, so basically I have to do an Android before it. So that's text color. Autocomplete does it for us. So text color, enter, @color slash, search for something like primary text, and it becomes black. Now you might be thinking that where is this primary text coming from? Well, actually in the starter code, if you go on values, so app res values colors.xml, this is already included for us. And how did we get these list of 8 colors? Well, this is from weeks 2 onwards. You can head over to materialpalette.com and you can select these 2 colors. So a quick refresher, select these 2 colors, click on download, download the XML file. So again, this is discussed in detail. So I'm just doing a quick refresher for all of us. Then you can open that XML file that you just downloaded. So file, open with notepad, and you have these 8 colors. And all we did was Control C, and we went back to our app, and then we pasted it here. So under resources, under these 3 default colors, we just pasted it here. And so the color theme we chose was red and lime. So yeah, you can, in the future, you can select your preferred color theme and paste those 8 colors here. And then everywhere in the code, you can access those colors, like primary text. It is this one. You just downloaded it just now. So that's cool. Next, this one has to be secondary text, right? This color. So let's do text color. Enter. Search for secondary text. Enter. Any questions? Let me know. So next, the size looks off. So let's add a styled property to this. style style. Enter. Let's add something like a like a subtitle or maybe a headline 6. Headline 6. This seems like what we had. Headline 6. Now, how am I knowing or like when to use headline 4, when to use headline 6? That again, we discussed it last time. A quick refresher. Material design Android and search for something called typography. Material design Android typography, and this the type system. You can click on it and scroll down. You get these list of. So we chose headline 4 for a title and headline 6 for a subtitle. So you can just see this and select the appropriate one and just type it in the code. Cool. So now it looks correct. Let's add some margin up at the top and at the bottom of this linear layout. So now the linear layout, it sticks the top of this. So you'll see what I mean when we do it here. So under the second linear layout, so the first one is the whole thing. The second linear layout here, it refers to this vertical list of text views. Under this, before the end, enter, margin top, enter, margin top, enter. Here put in something like 16 dp. Notice now there's this space here, right? Let me zoom in so you can see it clearly. You see, this is the top of the thing. We have some space here. Now the bottom of this linear layout is sticking to the bottom of this like image view, same line, this image view line. So let us add some margin at the bottom also. Margin bottom, enter, 16 dp. Notice now there's a margin at the top, margin at the bottom. Now very good progress. We have a quick look at the yep. So we have done our card now. Next is we need some space between the image and this linear layout. It's sticking right again. Let's space it out a little bit. Let's be generous with that space. Let's add a margin start. So again, it's preferable to use margin start instead of margin left and margin end instead of margin right. For like right to left layouts, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Basically, if you have languages with Arabic, it converts starts to right. So we shouldn't hardcode left, which again, we have discussed before, so I won't delve into too much detail there. 16 dp. And here, layout looks complete. Let us work on our image now. This image, or maybe let's not give 16. 16 looks too much. 8 seems to be correct. So margin start 8. Now for our image. Now here we're going to learn something new. Actually not new, we discussed it in brief last time. But basically, if you type in src for the image view, right, between the closing and opening and closing for src, enter. Here, we are actually included in drawable, we've included a placeholder dog image for us. That's just for our testing purposes. So in the src, you can type in here dog placeholder. and it shows the placeholder. Click out, it looks complete now. The thing is, whenever you do Android and then some property, that will reflect in the actual app, right? Android will reflect in the actual app. But the thing is, we only want to show this image for our testing purposes, only when we are seeing the preview of this layout. So how do we only show it for the preview and not for the actual app? Because in the actual app, if we have the in the actual app where we have the screenshot, let this. So there seems to be some problem. Let me load it on the phone then. So basically, we have like different dog images here, right? Different dog images. So we shouldn't hard code some image there. We could because it'll get overwritten, but it's good practice to not do it. So instead of doing Android SRC, change Android to Tools SRC. And if it gives you some error here, just click on it and click Alt Enter. And now it only shows in the preview pane. When the app launches, this will be like an empty thing. It's just a placeholder. Next, if you notice now, for images that don't fit, like this one here, we have some background here. So let's add a background to our image view. Background, a background, and here you can type in primary light. So if you zoom in now, without this property, I'll show you how it looks. It looks white, and without this, it looks some nice shade of red. So that's done. And let's verify our to-dos. Add to text views, yes. We added linear layout, yes. So very good. So we have completed our first step. So if you ever want to compare your code with the solution code, you can first of all save it. So I recommend you use the terminal. So this terminal will look something like this, but yours might look something like a Microsoft one if you're on Windows, or somewhat similar to this one, maybe if you're on Mac. But not to worry, the commands will be the same for now. You can just type in git add dot git add dot and then git commit dash m and the two inverted commas. You just type in any message like completed step 1. Basically you are saving your changes, uh, um, and so you're just giving a message to that save, like a small message, a hint for you in the future. So you can just click enter and everything is saved. Now you can switch. So you always have to save your changes before moving anywhere. So then you can click on the right, git, and you can click step 1 solution code, or you can click step 1 solution code, compare with current. Yeah, like this. So not this file, let's see. All right, let's click here. So click on the latest one. So 10:47 a.m. This one seems to be the latest one. Oh, wrong file then. Oh yes, click on files and click on dog item. Double click yes. So now you can see the exact changes between your code and the code here. So you can compare and check here. And also, if this looks too complex or if you don't get this, you can ask questions here, or else there's even a way to check it on GitHub. On GitHub here, you can go to like step 1 starter code branch, and then you can click on compare, and it shows you what was deleted, what was added, and so you can compare your code with things. So yeah, so if not starter code, you can click on step 1 solution code. Yeah, you can keep messing around with this. This is the reason why it's on GitHub, so you can check the changes very easily here. So well, anyway, let us move on to our next step. Yes, we have completed this. All to-dos are complete. Head over to the to-do pane. 18 to-dos, we completed 18. Let's head over to step uh, 2, start a code. When you click on it, check out as, and OK. And let me load it on the phone. And we can, if you run the app, actually nothing will happen now. So we'll still keep the app open. Cool. Now we are here in step 2, and so all your changes, like they're done. So let's say if you haven't completed step 1, just save whatever changes you have done and head over to step 2, start a code now, because we have already written the code for you. So the solutions from step 1 are already implemented. So you can ignore if you haven't completed it and just follow along here now. Now step 2, let's check what you have to do. So head over to do pane, create a new package called Pojos, which we'll talk about what this is. And so let's do that. So actually, it's our first time, maybe a first time. I think this is our first time. We haven't done it before. Is how to create a new package in our app. So under app Java, this package name. Remember the package name that it asked you in the beginning when you usually create your Android app? It's the same thing, like com dot my name or your name dot that, like some unique name like favorite dogs app or something. Same thing. Right click on it, click new, and click on package. So right click on this new package. Package name, they told us to do it as Pojos. Let's do Pojos. Enter. Within this, create a new class called dog. Right click, new class called dog. So I think I went too fast there. Let me show you again. Right click on Pojos, new Java class, and here you can type in dog. Okay. Okay, just ignore this add, or it's your choice. Eh, Add, then it will show you some changes, but I usually don't like to add that. Uh, yeah, it doesn't make a difference, so don't worry about that. Now within dog, create the following fields: name, breed, likes, dislikes, image URL, and add getters and setters and constructor. Now you remember this dog? We discussed about this before. Yes, it is from the slides. The same thing here that we showed. So dog, and then create a field for each of the dog's property. It's like name, breed, likes, dislikes, image URL. So let's do it. Private string name, private string breed, then private string likes, then private string dislikes, then private string image URL. So again, if I went too fast, let me know. And if any questions, let me know. So these 5 fields, then they told us to add getters, setters, and constructor. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut on how do you add all that. Click on enter twice, basically leave some space. Alt insert. You get this very helpful menu. Click on constructor, hold down shift and the down arrow. So if I don't hold shift, it selects only one. So go to the top, shift, and then select all of them and enter. See this? It added all this code for us. It created a constructor with name, breed, likes, dislikes, image URL. Right? This is all boilerplate code. We don't need to worry about this. So let IntelliJ or let Android Studio handle it for us. Next, getters and setters. Same thing. Alt insert. Oh, by the way, alt. So whatever the equivalent for Mac. I don't use Mac, so I don't know. So alt insert and then getter and setter and choose all of it and enter. Notice now it generated all this methods for us, which is basically like get name. It returns the private name field, right? Usual Java things, getter and setter. And setter, it takes in a name and it sets the name variable to that parameter. So again, this is just like plain old Java things. So still, I mean, if there are any questions, let me know. So Java, I'm assuming like mostly people would know it, uh, especially just like basic level. But if it's not basic, feel free to ask a question and I'll explain in detail. Cool. Uh, Now, this one thing that you might ask is, what are these pojos here? Right? We created the dog class in this pojos package. Pojos, it means plain old Java objects. So I don't think I included this in the slide. So just a heads up, plain old Java objects is a fancy name for model class. So I included that in the slide, right? Model class. So they are also called POJO, plain old Java objects. So plain old Java objects. Cool. Java objects. So Pojos is plain old Java. Actually, Pojos object, and the S for Pojos is objects basically. Well, that was just some like some a nice thing to know. So now let's check our to-dos. Very nice. We've completed our step 2. So now we have this dog class, which is step 2 of our. We created the layout file. Next step 2 is we create the model class. This dog.java. We created this. Next, yeah, this is the meat, the actual where you have to get your hands dirty and really flex your muscles here, because this is where the actual implementation of how ListView works is done. So after this, we'll be able to run our app. So far, we haven't really done. We have just created these two individual components. Adapter will tie both of these components together. Remember visual part and the data part, and then we can run the app and we can see some changes. So let's begin. Again, to save the changes, head over to the terminal at the bottom. Terminal. So you can type in git add dot. Be sure to put a space. So some people could make a mistake there. Git space add space dot. Enter. Then git commit dash m double inverted commas, and between them type in something like anything. It doesn't matter really. Like completed step 2. Just to save your changes with a message. You can even leave it blank. I'm not sure if you can, but just try it out. If you give some error, just close it and save it with some name. Cool. Enter. Things are saved. Now, again, the same thing. If you want to compare your code with the step 2 solution code, you can do that. Compare with current. Click on files and click on current. Double click on this. And oh, if you notice that we didn't implement the age, which is then the solution code. So it showed us, and hence we don't have the getters and setters of the age. This is the solution code, and this is the R code. You can do this. Cool, right? It really helps you out to know what's missing to implement and keeps you on track and helps you out. So hope that helps. Next, step 3, start a code. So again, download that to your local system. We only downloaded step 1 and step 2. Download step 3, start a code. Check out as, click OK. So you notice now the solution is done for us. Now let's head over to our to-dos. Here we have 8 to-dos. So let's click on it. Create a package called adapters. Yep, now we create our adapters. So right, not pojos. Right click on the base package, new package, adapters. ADAPTERs, adapters. Now you should have 2 packages under your root package, adapters and pojos. So right click on adapters, and as they said, create a dogs adapter. So new Java class, dogs adapter. Okay. Yeah, just escape or just cancel, just doesn't matter. Now, the slides extends array adapter. Array adapter is the default adapter. We want to add some custom functionality to it. So extends array adapter of what type? Dog type. So extends array adapter. Again, if I went too fast, I basically use autocomplete help. So I'm just typing AR and it showed me the first one is array adapter of the package enter.widget. There's only one, so you can just click that, enter. Be sure to put this the angular brackets because this is a generic class. Array adapter is a generic class. Type in here dog, which basically is the dog that you just created just now. This one. So it's an adapter of those dogs. So it's giving error. So alt enter import class. It'll do the import and error will go away. Cool. It still gives us errors because we have to override and implement these methods. Constructors required. GetView and getCount is optional, but it's required to show some values. But it'll give an error if you don't do the constructor. So shortcut is you can click on it, alt enter, and click on the first bubble. So again, I'll repeat, alt click on the error, or click anywhere if, or click on the bulb also if you want to, and create constructor matching super. Choose, so there are many overloaded constructors here. Again, overloaded methods is a concept of Java. If you don't know it, no problem. We won't need it now actually. Click on the first one that only has context and the resource. That error goes away. Next step is you have to override GetView and getCount. So the shortcut to override methods here is click on Control O, or I think in Mac is like Command O, if I'm not mistaken. So Control O and then search for. So if you start typing in searches, so search for GetView. There's only one here, so click on it, double click or enter or whatever, and you have overridden GetView. Good. Next thing you have to override is leave some space, Control O, and search for getCount. It's only one here. So click on it, OK, or enter, whatever. And very good. Now you have implemented, at least overridden, the constructor, the getView, and the getCount. Well, you haven't actually overridden this, but let's just assume we have. So now we did the first part, override. Now let's implement. So let's write some code in these methods. So first things first, at the top of this, let us create a variable to store something called context, which will be apparent on why we're doing it much sooner. So at the start, private context with a capital C of the type android.content. The context, not content, context of the package android.content. Name this m context and semicolon. Next is create a private variable here called dog and an array of dogs called m dogs is equal to an empty array for now. So we created an empty array of dogs, right, and saved it to this. Now this m context, when we create this adapter, the user has to pass in, I mean, not the user, but the programmer has to pass in context. So save the past context here, m context. Why are we doing it? Because context is, we're going to use it here in the below methods. So currently the scope of this context variable is just within this constructor. So we save it to this global variable. So then we can access this global variable from other methods here below. So we save it to the global variable. That's pretty much it, yeah, for the constructor. Next, GetView. Now here is the very important method, GetView. If you notice in the previous pages, layout is returned, when GetView is called. Data is returned when GetView is called. So GetView is a very fundamental, very essential method of an adapter. So let us do it. Delete the default code, so the return, delete it. So you can type in inflator, infla. So I'll explain what this means. Inflator, and let me tell you which one. So, sorry, not inflator, layout inflator. So layout inflator of the type android.view, call this inflator, is equal to then layout inflator dot from, and in the parameter it asks you for a context. Now here you use a global one, which is why we made it a global variable. Pass in here and context semicolon. You have an inflator, which I'll talk about what it is. Next line, view. So capital V, view, and then a variable of type view, so view is equal to inflator dot inflate. So inflator, which is this one, dot inflate. Here you can pass in r dot layout dot dog item, comma false. So sorry, not false, parent, comma false. So lot that we did here, let's discuss it in detail. Get view, it has to return this list style. So in the layout part, it has to return, get view has to return a layout. So what we're doing is we're creating an inflator for a layout. Think of it like a balloon. You have a balloon. Balloon is like a blueprint. Think of it. You need an inflator, like a pump, to blow air in the balloon and make the balloon an actual balloon. Because without the air in the balloon, it's like just a toy, like a rubber toy. In order to make it a balloon, you have to use a pump. This is the pump, and the air. Yeah, let's not go too deep in the analogy. Yeah, we have a pump, we create the balloon. So the balloon is saved here in this view variable. So balloon is of type view. The analogy is we're comparing the balloon with view. So view in Android is anything that's visible on the screen is a view. So a text view, a button, an image view, all of these are views. So we inflated uh, and what, so we told the pump, okay, inflate, but what balloon you have to inflate? This one, r.layout.dog item, which points to app res layout dog item. Remember this? We did this one. So what it said was, is inflate that balloon of this dog item. The second parameter is of parent. This we won't need to go too much in detail. This is always, like almost always, parent. The third one is almost always false. That is like, think of it like boilerplate code. The main important thing is like what layout you want to inflate. Then it inflates that layout and it creates it into a view and it saves it here. You have the view now. Now you have an empty view. So the view is, it is the layout part of it. But you have to add the data into it, right? You have to add the name, you have to add the breed, you have to add the image. How will we do that? Let's check. So earlier we used to do find view by ID, right? That doesn't work here because we are not in an activity now. Find view by ID is only available in an activity. Now, what if you do is do text view TV name is equal to view.find view by ID. You can type in r.id.tv underscore name. What does this mean? Within this view that you inflated, within that search for a view with the ID TV underscore name, which means we are searching for this one. Within dog item, we're searching for this one because it has ID TV underscore name. Then what we'll do is, once we have this, what we'll do, we can do now like TV name dot set text. Here we can do like Charlie or Doberman, basically the name of the dog. Now the thing is um, how would we get that name? So actually what you have to do is GetView. When Android calls GetView, it actually gives the position parameter here, the int position. So we can do here mdogs position dot name, get name. So from a list of dogs, which is empty now, but in the future it will be now populated, get the dog that needs to be displayed, because Android says, okay, display me the dog with index 7. So we check the dog with index 7. So we get that dog from here. Then we call dot get name. Name is done. Similarly, let's do it for breed. TV underscore breed. I want to fast, let me know. Find view by ID. R dot ID dot TV underscore breed. So I'll give some time. And now that we have that text view, let us change the value of the text view. So TV underscore, TV breed dot set text. M dogs. So we get the appropriate dog dot get breed. If it's not clear, don't worry, we'll show you in great detail now. We have this. The last thing is images. Actually, before you even go into this, head over to GitHub. So click on the home page. Home. So basically, you should come to the home page or the link on YouTube, which Yudesh has mentioned in the description. Head over to app, src, main, Java, adapters, dog list adapter. If you want to see that again, it's here. App, src, main. Let me zoom in. App, src, main, Java, package name basically, adapters, dog list adapter. Now here, if you notice, we have already made 26 dogs, like a dog for each letter. So you can just copy this array of dogs. Let me zoom out so it's more easier for us to see. Get back to 100. Or you can just copy this whole dogs thing itself and Control C and paste it. Okay, so replace this thing empty and replace it here. So now we have this list of dogs where each dog has like a name, a breed, using the constructor that we just created. So name, breed, age, which you're not using actually. Then likes what it likes walking, it dislikes bathing, and then an image URL. So if you click on it, Control B or Control click, that's the image. So we have to download the image from that URL. Now, downloading images from URL. Why does that sound familiar? Yes, we did it in like week 3 or week 4. Uh, Actually, both. We did it in both. So we use a library called Picasso. So you can head over to, or you can Google search Picasso Android dependency. Picasso Android dependency. Once you Google search it, it's the first link, one of the first few links, and should get you to a page like this. So you can scroll all the way down. When you get something like this Gradle and this implementation line, copy this line, Control C, and head back over to Android Studio. So if there's any question, let me know. I'll explain again. Gradle scripts. So again, once you've copied that line, instead of app now, head over to Gradle scripts. The second Gradle script. So app level build.gradle, not project level, but module app level build.gradle. Double click. Under dependencies, paste this one here. So under dependencies block, just paste it anywhere basically. Now replace this version, which Android is smart enough to tell us that is 2.71828. One shortcut is, instead of you deleting and copying it, just click on it, Alt Enter, and let it change it for you. Shortcut, you can learn some shortcuts there. Shortcut, it always helps. And now sync now. So whenever you change the build.gradle file, you sync now. Now you can use this Picasso library that you just downloaded. You can use it in your project. So now what we'll do is scroll all the way down there to this very long-winded this description of each dog. Scroll all the way down to where we were in GetView. Here, take the image view also. So image view IV underscore, IV dog equal to view dot find view by ID r dot ID dot IV underscore dog. So what's this image view that we are trying to get? From the view that we just inflated, which is basically this one, find the view with IV underscore dog, which is this one, this image view, this one. So now we'll set this image view to some image. So as we discussed in weeks 3 and 4, we use Picasso library. So just type in Picasso. Whenever you have to download any image, Picasso dot get dot load. You have to load that. So you have to get the image URL. How do we get it? Get the appropriate dog using mdog's position. From an array of dogs, whenever Android says like Android will call this method, pass me the 7th dog. In index 7 dog. So get the index 7 dog from this long array, right from here, and dot get image URL. Oh, and then last line is dot into. So download this image and place it where? Picasso will ask. Where you have to place it? IV dot. So it will download the URL that's between this and paste it here. I think I have a brief slide about that. Towards the end. There's nothing very. These two important things I wanted to mention are like if you have a problem, this is very important. Be sure to write the internet permission that you're going to write. But some people have also faced this problem of it doesn't work for newer phones. So be sure to just uh, write this line in the activity tag of manifest file, which will show you now. So first things first, the important thing whenever you use Picasso, since it downloads from the internet, you have to always place the internet permission in the manifest file. So collapse Gradle, we don't need it anymore. App manifests and this manifest file. This manifest file, it contains like, think of a manifest like metadata about your app. So like what's the app's name, what the app logo to use, and some related information. Go to the opening tag of manifest, so just from here to here, and enter. Here you can open the thing, select user's permission, and it asks you for the name. So select the first one, or type in internet if it's not showing you the first one, internet. Close it using the /. So now this, once you do this, then Android allows you to use the internet of the phone. So that's important. Second thing is, if you still have a problem, you can, under the application tag, from here to here is the opening, right? Opening angle brace, closing angle brace. Between this, just click enter and type in your uses clear text. This is optional if it doesn't work for you, and write this to true. But we won't do it because it works for us. It's something to mention. Cool. Yes, we have done now actually, and let's return this view. So don't worry, I'll explain now what it means. I think I was going too slow here, and people must be getting bored. I want to see how it works. Show me the exact things. Let me show you. So first of all, let's run this app, and if you get any errors, let's fix it. So I'll start my phone. And let's see. I'll open the run pane. So if there are any errors, we can see the errors. Yeah, it doesn't work. So, oh yes, one thing is, which we didn't do one step, we overrode those methods and implemented them. Next is set the adapter to ListView. So we have created the adapter, we have implemented all the methods. Now give that adapter to the ListView so it can display it. So the body won't move if the brain doesn't tell it to move. So give the brain to the body. or give the body the brain. Yeah, if we get the analogy. Well, so one thing I forgot to mention is actually in the get count, we didn't implement it. So just delete this super.get count. It's a very short line, m dogs dot length. So basically, this list of dogs. Um, so if Android ever wants to know how many dogs are there in this adapter, it will call this method, and so we should pass in mdogs.length. Now I've implemented it. Go back to main activity.java, and actually I forgot to write that to do. It's to do 9. It should be not here. Here, let's create a dogs adapter. So dogs adapter is equal to new dogs adapter, and within this pass in, see the constructor. It takes in context, it takes in resource. Resource is not important for us now. We only are interested with context. So here, context pass in this, and for resource just pass in any integer basically. It doesn't matter. And now we have one step closer to getting an app to work. So we created an instance of that adapter, and now we're going to set the adapter here. Let's see if it works now. So let's give it some time for it to start. And very nice. And will the images load? Images are also loading. So this is very, very good progress. If you click on any image, it won't take you to the detailed screen because we have to implement that. So, but if you notice, we have got all of this working. Now, remember, so I even included some some funny things in this, so you can check it out. It's basically a dog for each letter, and there's some some um, clever or something that's it's a unique description for each dog. I'll just leave it at that. So you can check it out when we do it now. But basically, let's see what's happening. So under dog adapter, under GetView, what I'll do is I'll put a breakpoint, right? So we can see how is Android running. Now, instead of running this app by clicking this, click on the debug, this bug icon here, and click on it. And now let's see what happens on the phone. So whenever the app hits this line, it will stop the code for us and it will tell us. So it told us now. Now look at this position. Android called this method by passing position of 0. So what we do is we inflate an empty list view, so an empty layout, right? It's this one. We inflate this one. Then we, since it passed 0, so we have to use this, the first dog. So what we do is we view.findView by ID, we get those 3 views, image view and the name breed. And then we take the correct dog, because now we know position is 0, so we take the correct dog from here to here. Then we call dot get image URL. So it'll return us the first dog, and dot get image URL, which it'll return this one. So if there's any questions, let me know. Well, this is an important topic. And then we fill in, like populate the fields there with the correct information, then we return the view. Now let me click play and let's see what happens. Play. Oh, was it? Android stopped us again. So Android again called this method. Now it called us with what? With 1. Seeing the pattern here? So it'll again create another list style, which is basically this dog item, and then it'll pass in with 1. So now it wants the information of the second dog, right? 0 index, so 1 means second dog. So Batman, so we have to get the correct dog. So mdogs1, then dot get image URL, so it'll return this URL for the second dog. You see what we're doing now? Get return view. So let's do it again. Oh, it called it again with 3. I mean this with 2, then with 3. Then Android called it with 4. Now Android didn't stop calling it. So let's see what happened. You see here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot to mute this. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, so um, so you notice 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Android called this getView method for all the views that are present on the screen. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if I scrolling down, you see Android called it with position now 5. So whenever it has to show on the fifth one on the screen, Android calls getView like, hey, give me the view now after display it. So then we inflate a new view, we put in the correct information, and then we return the view. Now I see the app will run now. Again, app will stop now because it needs to show now the next dog, right? It doesn't have that, so it asks it for the new view, and it will pass in like the next one, 6 maybe, 6. So to speed up this method, what we'll do is um, let's add a log statement. So here at the start, what we'll do, we'll do log. I mean, the shortcut I explained last time is log, and then you have all these options. Select D, log D, which is so log D, and then you can click enter. And now for this tag, don't click alt enter here. Go to the top of the class, of the dog adapter class. Go to the top and leave some space. Type in log T. It creates a tag for us. And just escape or whatever. So now the tag is created for us. Now here we'll write in GetView, which is basically this method. Here we'll type in position is position. And so now let us not stop the app, but let us run this app. And so every time this method is called, we can see what position is called with it. So now in our run pane, let's observe this run pane closely. So okay, it's gone up. Oh, let me add some space here. Let's restart the app so we can see what's happening now. So this is why we did ListView first, because I'm going extremely slowly and explaining everything in detail so we can understand the crude basics of how everything works before moving on to something more complex. So let's see here. Oh, good. So let me scroll to the top. So now I'm scrolling. It position 5, GetView position 5, GetView position 6. You see, every time a new view is it's wanted, it calls that and passes the position here in this. And when we take the correct dog and we inflate a view, we put the correct dog information in that view and return the view. Return view, correct? So if you scroll down, it will go all the way to 26. Notice 25. 25 is the 26th dog, right? In zero index. Now if I scroll up, it will. So now it has forgotten the dogs at the top. So now it needs to recreate that view. And so if you scroll up, let me move this green thing here. So if I scroll up now, so scroll up 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 0, 20, 21, or even called 25, it's called 21 late. So if I scroll too fast, then it messes up the order, but it still works. Now, what's the significance of this? If I scroll too many times, are you noticing some inefficiency here? Every time I scroll, it creates a new object here. But we only have 25 objects, but so far we have created like 25 times 6 or so, because we have scrolled through the entire list 6 times. And that's where, that's where the recycler view um, um, is more efficient. So cool. Let me just remove the charger here. Cool. Very good. So now we are actually, this is the main meat part of it, like the actual coding part. So let me just close the app here, And now we're going to we have finished our to-dos. So get count, get length. So I hope you understood this get view part, because that's important, how get view is run. Now we have actually completed our last to-do. Let me just relaunch the app. And cool. Let's head over to step 4. Step 4, starter code. And oh, by the way, before this, we have to save it. Save it on. So head over to the terminal. Let's save our changes now. So now we know our app works. So we finally got a list to work. Now our last step is to create a detail screen. So let's see how do we do that. Let's save the changes first. Git add dot enter git commit dash m in the inverted commas, double inverted commas. Type in here anything like completed step 3. Enter. And now we can switch to another branch. So from get step 3, let's head to starter code. Step 4. We're coming towards the end. Check out as. Okay. Okay. And now we're in step 3. Yes, let us. Cool. So now we're in step 4. Now we have some new to-dos here. Now we are going to start to create our details screen. So to create a detail screen, now we're going to talk about how do we create a new activity. So yep. So next one, creating activities. So the main thing I want to talk about in this slide is what's the naming convention of naming an activity. So we just created an activity briefly on week 3 when we did the roll the dice app and the joke app. Remember, we clicked on a joke, it took us to a new screen. I mean, we clicked on show jokes, it took us to a new screen where it showed all the jokes. When we roll the dice, we clicked on which type of dice we want, and it will take us to a new screen. So we didn't talk about the convention of how activities are named. So activities are named by this convention. First, you talk about what the activity is about, and then just end it with activity. So what the activity is about, and just name it activity. So like dog details activity. So since our second activity is going to show the dog details, so we just write dog details and then activity. So let us start to. So this is going to look very good. Our detail screen. So we're going to. So let's see how to do it. So right click on the package name. So under app Java, the package, right click on the package name, new, and you would see this activity here. And then you click on gallery. So right click on the package, new, then activity, then gallery. Click on gallery, and here you'll notice this. This seems familiar, right? Yes, this is the same list that we had when we would create an Android Studio project. So as usual, double click on empty activity, and now follow the naming convention. Let's call this details activity. So instead of dog details, let's call it details activity because that's what they said it should be named. Finish and cancel if you want. You call it details activity. Now within this, let us create a layout for that. So this is going to be pretty interesting. How will we create the layout? So first things first, let us check the phone, so the app, so we can. If you notice here, oh, I have to show the finished one. So the finished one has the detail screen. So let's head over to this so we can see how it looks. It's taking some time here. All right, so we'll show it from here itself. It seems to be taking some time. So basically, Let me refresh it maybe. So I don't know why that's happening. Let me refresh this. Will it work? Isn't working. So basically, okay, I can show it to you on the downloads. Yeah, this will work. So when you click on it, if you notice, let's yes, you have an image, you have the name, then you have the breed name, likes, and then dislikes. So it's like a vertical arrangement of views, right? So for the vertical arrangement of views, we need a linear layout. Yes. So and now it loaded. So let's head back to Android Studio and change our root view to a linear layout. Again, if I went too fast here, because XML, I know I'll go too slow because it's new to everyone. So delete the root thing here for the activity underscore details.xml. So app res layout activity underscore details, right? The new activities layout file. Delete the top here and rename it to linear layout. And now, as I mentioned, linear layouts, their default orientation is horizontal. Yes. So you have to change it to vertical explicitly not to make it work. Now, first thing is an image. So let's add an image view property. So open the angle bracket image view. When you click enter, it asks you for width and height by default. Width, keep it a match parent. Height, keep it a 0 dp, which we'll talk about now. Why? We even did 0 dp previously. Today, I mean, now I'll explain why. One, two, all right. So, and close this and add a weight. I'll go a little fast now because we are very close to the. I mean, I won't go fast. I'll go slow. And be sure to ask me questions. Weight. So add a weight here of 3 or 4. And then add another linear layout. So it gets little nested linear layouts. Add a linear layout here of width of match parent, height of wrap content. So and then close it using the greater than sign because a linear layout is a parent layout. It can take in children. So once you do this, so again I'll show you. Close it using the greater than sign and then click enter twice or thrice. And here, as our layout shows, text view, went too fast here, open thing, text, click on enter. Width of text view, let's keep it as match parent and height as wrap content. So it'll expand all the way. And let's give this a weight. So linear layout weight of 6. So what happens is the image takes 40% of the screen and sorry, height should be 0 dp. With height is 0 dp. Whenever you use weight, the associated property should be 0. So the height of the image will be 40% of the screen, 40% of the height, and the height of the linear layout here will be 60%. So that's why we use 0 dp and we give it a weight. So if you give both an equal weight, like 6 and 6, it will be divided 50-50%. So we don't want that. We want the image to be 40 and this to be 60. Next, close this. Let's add in the text. I mean, so text property, text. And this we can, for now, we can just do it like a proudly. Same thing. It has to be centered. So choose text align, text alignment, enter. Now you have these autocomplete options. Choose center. Centers it. It looks too small. Let's change it to headline 6. How do we do it? I'm sorry, headline 4. How do we do it? Style property. So style. Headline with the capital H. Headline 4. The color is off. You see how we're building this layout? It's you're seeing the behind the scenes of how we do it. So that's good. The color is off. So text color and choose primary text. So we downloaded the primary text color, choose that one. Next, so I'll copy this text view, Control C, I'll paste it below this one. So we have two of these Charlies. Why is it not updating? Orientation of this will be vertical. So we'll have two of these Charlies. Now this should be like Doberman, right? The breed name or Labrador. And now this should be a subtitle. So let's do headline 6. And the text to be of the secondary text color. So looks much like our finalized app. Next. So yeah, if it is, can I pause this? Let me mute this. And so now, yeah, oh, this is a detail screen. Good. So we are here. If you notice now, we need these likes text view and then this actual likes here. So let us do that now. So we need two more text views here. So let's do text view. The width of the text view will do match parent. Height will be wrap content. Actually, we can copy these two for speeding up the process. So copy these two text views, Control C, and paste it here. So we get again these things. Now this should be, it should say like likes, right? Likes, but it's too large. So let's keep it headline 6. And it's too close to this. So let's put a margin top. So anywhere, just type in margin top. So again, I'm just speeding up gradually. So let me know if I'm going too fast. Margin top, enter. Here you can put in a really large margin of 32 dp. So it can be spaced quite a bit. Now this one should be something like, likes long walks. Now this is again the same size as this, right? Both are headline 6. So change this one to something like a body 1. And seems now it seems good. Now we need one for dislikes also, right? So again, to make it easy, just copy these two. You notice how easy it is here in text? Because text you can copy paste. In design, it's a little more complicated. Actually, here also you can click on this and Control C, maybe it'll work. It does work. So it's just a little more time consuming, I would say. But you can stick with whatever you feel preferable. But may, uh, you can take my word for it. You'll love the text view with some time. So I copied the likes and this long walks, and then let's do the same thing for dislikes. Dislikes, and we'll have dislikes with bathing, because all dogs, they don't like bathing. So now we have dog breed. This like what it likes, what it doesn't like. The thing is, this is hard coded, but if you look in the video, first it shows Ace, then it could show this Yasmin. So it constantly keeps changing. So we shouldn't hard code it. So, but we want to show it in the preview pane. How do we do that? Yes, if you remembered, we did it just a while ago. Instead of Android, we just replaced Android with tools. So this Charlie, it shouldn't be hard coded. So let's replace this with tools. Now it will only show in the preview pane. Next, second is Labrador. Again, shouldn't be hard coded. So change it to tools. Third, likes. This can be hard coded because likes will never change. It will always stay the same. This part will change. So don't hard code it. Just change it for tools. Dislikes. Then this bathing part of it, click on it and change this Android to tools. So now so name, breed, what it likes, what it doesn't like, will be I use it only for the preview. So it's actually empty, if you, in reality. Good. So we have come quite far. Now, some things to note is in the video, if you see here, Is a background color to this image view? Let's do that. So image view. So I scroll all the way to the top. Let's add a background to this and search here for primary light. This is again a color that you downloaded. So primary light, enter, get this primary color. Now for our preview, let's add an image here. So tools, because it's not hard-coded image, it could change. So tools src source for an image is equal to, and then the double quotation marks. Here you can type in dog placeholder. This is the image that we use for just for testing purposes. So very good, you have completed your layout for the second app also. So very good progress. Uh, yep, and now last thing that's left, let's add IDs to all the views that will change, so we can um, tap into them from the Java code. Whenever you want to modify something in the XML from code, you have to always identify it uniquely by an ID. So the image will change. So ID. Oh, I'm going to fast here. So let me show you. Type in your ID and the first one, enter. Then it asks you Android or the first one. Choose the first one. So plus ID slash. Then you can type in like IV underscore dog. So we add an ID to this image. This will change. So let's add an ID to this text field. So again, at the top usually ID, enter the first one plus ID slash. Here you can type in something like TV underscore name. Right, this is a dog's name. This one will be dog breed. So ID, enter. First one, enter plus ID slash, like array plus ID slash. TV, which stands for text view, and breed. Next one. This should we put an ID to this likes? So notice here, likes when for Ace it showed likes, for still shows likes. So this will never change. So don't put an ID here. We don't need it. Long box, this will change depending on what the dog likes. So let me go slow. ID, enter, enter. This will be TV underscore likes. Dislikes, don't put it same reason as last time. This one, ID equal to, enter, enter, TV dislikes. Cool. So we have this now. Um, and let's verify if you have completed all the to-dos here. Oh, we did it. So we did all the to-dos here. Now, last step is step step 5, sorry. So we are extremely close to the end. So terminal, save all the changes, just like last time. Git add dot git commit dash m and the two double like quotation things. And here you can type in a custom message like completed step 4. Just anything basically. Completed step 4. Good, we have completed this. And let's head over to step 5. So if you want to run the app, like this details, everything run till step 3. So in step 4, the only new thing that we did was we added this new activity. But so it won't change how the app will run. So actually this, so we can just move on to step 5. Step 5 starter code, check out as. Step 5 starter code. So one thing you'll note is in some places I might have forgotten to, in the starter code, actually have to add these 2 lines. So just be sure that you add them. If you Douglas adapter equal to new, the same that we did before, right? We created a new adapter and we added it to the list view. Context this resource 0 and m list view dot set adapter. So as I explained, we created an adapter and we set it to the list view. So we created the brain. The body won't move without the brain, so we added the brain the body. Cool. So we are here, step 4, complete step 4. Now the last to do is in details activity. So the thing is, in details activity, we have to populate these fields, right? And these fields depending on what dog was clicked. So in multi-activity screens, how do we implement multi-activity screens, by the way? Yes, intents. So I'm just saying yes, intents. I assume that you will know it. But if not, not a problem. We're always going to review it, so no problem. So here let's create the 5 variables for the 5 views that will change in activity underscore details. So like the image, the name, breed, likes, dislikes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can change it in code. So here, image view, you can name it as private image view. MIV dog. Same for all the other ones. So let's it's the same, like nothing new. Text view, MPV name. Same as all the previous weeks that we've done. Create these global variables, MTV breed, name, breed, text view, MTV likes. If there's any questions on what are we doing, why is he writing so fast? I mean, I'm not writing fast, by the way, I'm slowing it down, but you may want me to write even slower, so let me know if you need me to write slower. Dislikes. So basically, we just created a variable for each of the views in activity underscore details. So image, name, breed, likes, dislikes. So 5 views. Next, initialize them using find view by ID. Yep, I'll do this very quickly because we know this. I'm confident we know this. IV dog. Same thing. You can just the shortcut is Control D. And Control Y deletes the line. Control D duplicates the line. Some nice shortcuts to learn. So now in this order, right? So let's do M TV name, MTV breed, MTV likes, MTV dislikes. And the same thing here, TV underscore name. So basically, we're linking all the XML elements with these Java variables. Likes. Now, if get intent is not equal to null, then populate UI. Oh, by the way, so now we have these values, but now how do we put the values in these? Like, how do we? So now we don't know what's the name of the dog. So when the, like, you get what I'm saying? Like let's when this dog is clicked, we have to pass the information from the main activity to the dog to the details activity. How do we pass details? Yes, it is using intents. So if get intent is null, so if get intent is not equal to null, so basically if an intent has called this activity, so basically if this activity is started and somebody has passed an intent along with it, right? It'll be clear soon, don't worry. Here you can just call in this method that we haven't implemented so far called populate UI, which what will it do? Let's see. String name is equal to get intent dot get string extra. So let me write this, then you can figure out what I mean. I can explain what I'm doing. So basically, from the intent that was sent. So intent, think of it like an envelope. So we take the envelope that says start a new dog. I mean, sorry, display the dog. Now, hey, you gave me the envelope, but what details of the dog do I have to display? So then I'll open the envelope and I will extract the information that is given with the key dog name. See the pattern here? Next will be string, breed, get intent, dot get string extra, So basically get the string that's given with this key. So here dog name, that will be dog breed. And string name breed likes, get intent. So from the incoming intent we get this. Like from the envelope, extract that information. Extract the letter from the envelope. Dog likes. String likes. Get intent dot get string extra. Dog dislikes. And the fifth thing is the image URL. So string image URL. So like this is just like the same concept. I'm repeating it over time, so I'm going a little more quickly than usual. But again, be sure to just stop me and let me know. This is very interactive, so let me know. So far, no questions, but just let me know. Get intent. Let's do get string extra dog underscore URL. And now that we have these values, populate the UI. So you have these things here, just put it in. So like name the set text name. So whatever name was passed, like whoever called this activity, whatever name was passed, set it to the text field. Do the same for m breeds the set text. What will you set it with breed? Likes text view will be likes. Dislikes text view likes. So again, let me know. So I'm assuming that you like I'm going at the correct speed because I'm not hearing anything from you. But please let me know. So name breeds. Last thing. Now this is important. How do you load? You have an image URL. How do you load this image URL in an image view? You need to download it from the internet. How do we do that? Yep, using Picasso. We just did that now. So yes, if you said that, that's very good. Picasso dot get dot load and pass the image URL here dot into miv dog. So download the image from this URL and place it in this image view. So all these IDs, if there are any questions on this, let me know. Because next week we're going to do a recycler view. So it's going to build up on this. So like hope these concepts are clear. For to-dos, we did the fourth one also. So now let me just verify. Yep. Now our app should run. So if we click on it, will it? Oh, okay, it's installing. That was the old version. So let us. All right. So now if you click on any one of these, so the home screen is working. That was good. Oh yes, yes. One last step I forgot to do is it in step 6? It's in step 5. Okay. One thing we have to do is in our adapter. So in dog list adapter, there's something that I forgot to do is our details activity is receiving the intent, but we never call this activity. We never call the method start activity, right? Start activity always starts the activity. We didn't call that, so let's call that. So under dog list adapter, this view, whenever this view is clicked, we want to oh it's to do 5. I don't know how I missed it. It says 4 to do's in one file. Weird, right? 5, still 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Populate before running. Well, this is some. I don't know why. So it's not showing us. It's showing 4 to dos when there are 5. So, but anyway, so here, yes, now it shows us 5. For some reason, it didn't track this file. Well, anyway, so before returning the view, set an on-click listener. So if you do, view dot set on click listener. So this is where I mentioned is in our we're going to learn adding on click listeners in code. So this is something new that we're going to do. So view dot set on click listener. So here if I ask you for a method here, so you can type in new and just with O with a capital N, O with a, sorry, O like on with a capital O, click, and you will notice this the first option, the view dot on click listener with three dots. Click on that one and it auto completes a bunch of things for you. It creates this method called on click, which whenever this view is clicked, it will execute this method. Cool. So now here we can call start activity. So let's see how to do that. So as we discussed in like weeks, uh, I think three was the first time we discussed intents. So again, I'll do it again and ask me any questions if you want me to explain something specific. So intent is equal to new intent. And here in the parameters, it takes in two parameters. Remember, first is where we are currently and then where we want to go, right? Origin and destination. So the origin, earlier we used to type in this, but now it gives us an error. Why that is? Because earlier we used to call this from main activity. We used to write here, right? We used to write here intent is equal to new intent. If you type in this and details activity, I'm typing fast to just show you. This will work fine. But this points to main activity. The thing is now we are calling it from dogs list adapter. So when you call this, it points you to dogs list adapter, which is not an activity. Activities can only be started from an activity. So how to make it work? Well, the workaround around this problem is actually we saved the context. Remember, we passed in this, which points to main activity. This always points to the enclosing or the first class this main activity. So we passed in main activity here as a parameter to this. Oh, sorry, not here. This. We passed it to dog list adapter. Let me delete this line of code to avoid confusion. Under dog list adapter, it will be sent here, right, in the constructor. Then we saved it in m context, which is here. So now we'll use that m context. So whenever the view is clicked, we'll start it from, sorry, m context. In our case, it is main activity, and we have to go where? To details activity. Dot class. So start from main activity, go to details activity. Now, how do we? So this is the envelope. So we discussed this. I'll give you a quick refresher. We create an envelope that says on the stamp you have to write like where your envelope is originating from, which is originating from m context, which is basically main activity, because we passed right this in that main. Yeah, I'm sure you must be getting it now. And then where you have to send this letter to, where you have to send this envelope to send it to details activity. Now you can start in start activity and pass the envelope. So start activities like the postman. Now the thing is, activities can only be started from within activities. So the workaround around this is m context dot. I went too fast there. Actually, let me go slow. M context dot. So now it works. Why does it work? Technically here also, Control Z. Let me. So when we did start activity here, then it will work here. The thing is, implicitly, it actually is equivalent to this dot start activity. But since it's understood, like whenever you call a method, it's we are doing like this dot start activity. So we can omit this. But here, when we omit this, it points to like this basically converts to this dot start activity, right? Implicitly, that's what it converts to. And this it points to dogs list adapter, which is not an activity. So the workaround around this is this m context. It contains the context of an activity. So it's like an alias, right? So here m context, and you have this here m context of start activity intent. And a couple of things that we have to still do. So we have a few minutes and we'll do it perfectly on time. Tell me if I'm going too fast. I'll explain anything that you want. Now you can do intent dot put extra, because our details, it will extract from the intent that we receive, right? In a details activity, it will extract extras like name, breed, likes, dislikes, and image URL. So we have to, if we are extracting it from the receiver end, the sender will have to send it, right? How will it extract without sending? So here, dog name, and here, pass in mdogs position dot get dog name. So we get, so position here, we get the appropriate position, I mean the appropriate dog, and get name. So we get the appropriate dog's name. So whenever the view is clicked, set on click. So whenever the on click is called, whenever the view is clicked, whenever the tile is clicked, so basically this tile, like this one. Whenever it's clicked, so when I click on this, on click will be called, and then it'll start the activity. So let's do the same for intent dot put extra. Let me copy these lines, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here we can do the, because we have to pass in the breed, likes, dislikes, image, URL, and the key will change. I mean, change the value also along with the key. So get name. So here it will be get breed, and here for likes it will be get likes. For dislikes, get dislikes. So again, feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll be very happy to answer those. So let me know. So let me explain again. We got the appropriate dog. From that appropriate dog, we got the name, and we saved it in the envelope with this key. Breed, save it with this key. You see, we are matching each value with the key. Then we are sending this envelope and starting the activity. Then the receiver of the envelope will extract the name by using the key. Extract the name, breed, likes, dislike, image URL, and then it'll populate the SUI with that, with those values. So now, if you run the app, if everything is gone correctly, so the step 6 is just 3 lines of code, literally just 3 lines of code. So so we are like almost, if we finish the step, then errors will fix it. But I think that, oh, so let's see what happened. I should delete this. Like when on create was called, it's created this new activity which is wrong. Shouldn't create it here. So let's see it here. Now it will show us the list. Every time we click on the new list, I mean, when we click on the list tile, then we set the on-click listener, right? So the on-click will be called, it will create an envelope with the values for name, breed, likes, dislikes, image URL. It will send that envelope to our details activity. Details activity will, using get intent, so it will extract the information from the envelope, then it will display the information. So let's see if everything's working. Cool. Cool. So everything is working fine. And so we have finished step 5. So our app is, step 5 is basically the app. It's technically done. So you can check all of this out. And now a last step. So we have 2 minutes and it'll be fine. If any questions, feel free to ask me. Let me save the changes first. Terminal git add dot git commit dash m. It's anything like completed. Step 5. Now transfer to step 6, start the code. And we are done. We are done. Yes. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm sure you are. I hope you are too. Step 6, start a code. And it's 3 lines of code. So these 2 things. So now the thing is, if you notice in our app, When you click on something, it still shows favorite dogs, and it doesn't show the back button, right? So we're going to implement those. So how do we do that? Very simple. To change the title of something, just do set title. And here you can do get intent, right? Basically the name, right? So this. So what I'm trying to say is, in the details activity, extract the name of the dog and display it. So we are almost done. And so now if you refresh the app, you see, let's let it restart. When you click on something, it'll go to the details activity, and then it will set the title of that activity with the dog name that you passed. So if any questions, you can quickly answer those, and maybe we'll go a little bit over time and we can answer those. Now you see it just say ace. Good. Now to get the back button, it's just 2 lines of code. So action bar. So it's called an action bar. The top bar is called an action bar. Select the one with Android X. Click on it. Action bar is equal to get support action bar. So you ask the Android system to give the action bar to you, and last line of code, and we're done. Action bar dot set display home as up and set display home as up enabled. Be careful here. So this is from our DSC's Discord. Yeah. Anyway, action bar dot. There are two things: set home button enable, set display home as up enable. Choose the first one. Set display home as up enable. True, and we're done. So very good. Let's restart the app. Solution code is online, and you can, as I showed you, you can compare it with like your version with the solution code's version, either on Android Studio or on GitHub. So you can always figure out like what's different from your code and solution code, fix any problems that you might have, and ask me any questions if you have those. Now if you see, you click on any ones, the title will change, and you'll also get the back button. Oh, it doesn't work. So let me just check if it doesn't look for everything. All right, so it looks like then there's one very quick thing. I'll just do it now and I'll explain it next time. So just one very quick thing. If so, item dot get item ID is equal to. So this is, don't worry, it's not hard at all. It'll be clear. Finish. And just this line of code. And so don't worry, I didn't explain it at all. And there's a good reason for it. I'll explain it in detail next time. So this looks like it needs this to for the back button to work. We are 2 minutes over time, and but we are done. So let us check final progress. Yeah, cool. So if there are any questions, you can ask them. We'll quickly answer those. You can even ask them after this session if you want. If there are a few things, I can try my best to help you out. Solution code on GitHub. Video recording is on YouTube, and I'm there for any questions. So yeah, I hope I can help you out as much as possible. So I believe Yudesh is still there. I'm not sure.
Hey.
Yeah, hello.
This is Madhusha. How are things?
Hi, Madhusha.
Good. Again, another great session. I don't know that we're going to get any questions online, but so how many applications have you built so far now, Rohan?
This is the 8th one. So
this is the 8th, yeah. So as we said, the content is going to be available online. We are taking questions through that as well. And those who already registered with us, we send them an invitation to the Think Out to the Value Slack channel, so we can get the discussion going there if there is anything there. And Rohan, I don't think we invited you yet, but we will add you to that as well.
Cool.
Now, I was talking to a few other students. For the second half of the series, there were a few suggestions as to the timing.
Oh, okay.
Right? So maybe we might move this from Saturday. We'll discuss it one-on-one. So stay tuned for that. And next week is the DSA Summit. So we're going to get a few more student groups involved with this series going forward. And we're still negotiating and trying to get Rohan to do a series on Android 11. So, and so the Android 11 series would be in partnership with Google. So you'll probably do it in tandem with another Googler. So stay tuned to all that as we go through. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to leave it for a few more minutes. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
And we also have all the events listed on this link above, as well as we run another event on Tuesdays where we're doing a student entrepreneur series. And that session is going to be with Stephanie Lopez. She's going to be talking about building a concept mock-up on Figma and bringing it to a web app. So, and it's going to be a mentor session with 25 other budding entrepreneurs around the same age as you all. So it's going to be exciting to see. So if there's no more questions.
And also, if anyone has any question later, maybe at some point, you can maybe message me and I'll try my best to help. Now I'll surely help, but later also, yeah, I'll try my best to help.
So I think the best thing we can do is we will onboard you all to the Slack channel, and Rohan will be there as well. Then I want this discussion to go forward. Now, this is not a waste. Obviously, you can always rewatch our videos that Rohan did, starting from the first session, from setting up the IDE. He already shared his GitHub. See how his GitHub is lit. Show your profile there.
Yeah.
There you go. Look how lit it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're open to collaborating, open to doing and getting more feedback. So that being said, we don't see any questions. Let's wrap this session up and see you all next week or the week after. I'm going to have a conversation with Rohan and figure out what the best timing is. We do have some students who wanted to run this on the weekdays, so we'll see what Rohan's availability is, and then go from there. That being said, thank you so much, Rohan, and have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.